Shalom, 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 my sisters and brothers. This is selection number 28. I'm back again with another video. This video is called Yahweh is His True Name. Now in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down the origins of the divine name and showing you how to write it and things like that. Please forgive my cat. All she do is whine. But anyways, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about etymology, and I'm gonna explain more about how the Bible is written metaphorically and has an algorithm stance. And then I'm also gonna explain Yahweh, the way He shows Himself in nature, and I'm gonna back that up with probably a verse out the Bible or two. And yeah, I'm just gonna let y'all know this is gonna be quick, simple, and straight to the point. I don't like for my videos to be 30 minutes long. My last video was about 34 minutes long. I didn't mean for it to be that long, but things happen. So, first of all, Yahweh is the divine name of the Hebrew Israelites, and not just the Hebrew Israelites, the Israelites period. There's 12 tribes of us, and there was, back in the day, before ancient Hebrew was modified to modern Yiddish, which is not really the true language of the Hebrew Israelites, the Israelites period. There was a lot of letters and things in the alphabet that, we'll just put it like this. There's a lot of things in the alphabet now that did not exist in the ancient Hebrew alphabet. So what I'm saying is, there have been letters added, and throughout time, as language evolved, when it went from the ancient text to more modern text, there was letters and things added, like the letter J and the letter I and things like that. So by saying that, the letter Y somehow, some way turned into the letter J. An example of this could be hallelujah, which is a Hebrew word. It means praise, praise Yahweh, or all praises to Yahweh. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Yahweh. Now, as you know, that word is spelled with a J, J-A-H at the end. And it's clearly being pronounced as a Y, Y-A-H at the end. Hallelujah. That's a clear example of what I'm trying to say about the letters being changed and swapped out and things like that. But the Y in ancient Hebrew, and this is why Yahweh is our true creator, and His name is the creation, and the creation is His name. And that's why He say, I am who I am, because His name alone describes the creation. Now, I'm going to show you guys this handwritten, and I'm also going to tell you guys this. But before I show you guys this handwritten, I need you to understand that the divine name has been placed almost everywhere. Everywhere nature occurs. Now, the divine name is in animals, insects, humans, natures, and trees. Now, the Y in Hebrew means Yud, Y-O-D. It stands for creator, creation. Now, before I get deep into that, I'm apologizing. I'm going to back up a little bit. And I'm going to start by saying that the Hebrew text was basically symbols. And they were called tetragrammatons. And the tetragrammatons, a tetragrammaton is basically a symbol that describes a thing. And an example of that would be like when you go to the restroom in a public place. If you're in another country and you can't read the language under the sign, the woman's sign on the bathroom, you will still know the difference between the bathrooms because of the sign that's on the wall. You got one sign that's clearly for a male, and you got another sign that's clearly for a female. Now, that is an example of a tetragrammaton. You have a sign that represents a thing or a person or whatever, or mainly a thing or a place, or, you know. And by saying that, this is why the letters usually were like symbols. So the letter Y meant Yud. It's pronounced Yud in Hebrew, and it means creator, creation. Now, if you have common sense, you will be able to understand what I'm about to tell you. Now, the creator, YHWH, Yahweh, he knew that English was going to be the language of the deceivers. He knew this before everything happened. So Yahweh marked everything in his creation with the letter Y. Now, the trees growing Ys, and everything in nature grows in Y. All the fish have Y tails. The snake have a Y tongue. Birds have the wings and the feet. And, I mean, it's everywhere. We even have it in our face. And I'll explain that furthermore when I get into, showing you more. Now, the H in YHWH stands for Hey, Spirit and Breath. Now, when Yahweh created the heavens and everything in the earth, all of this falls into the first H in YHWH. Hey, meaning spirit and breath. He created the hurricanes, which are destroyer angels. Lightning is a destroyer angel. You have earthquakes, tsunamis, wind, destroyer angels, tornadoes, if I didn't already say that, all natural disasters, lightning storms, and things like that are destroyer angels. Snowstorms and plate shifting and, earthquakes and volcanoes and things like that. Those are rods of Yahweh. And then you also have earth angels, celestial beings that walk the earth and that's born on earth with a human looking body, but the spirit is not human. And these are all a part of Hey, spirit and breath, which is also the wind, also, as I said before, spirit, ghost, spirits without bodies, things like that are a part of the first H in YHWH. Then you got W. W stands for Wav. Notice I'm saying his name. Yud, Hey, Wav, Hey. W is the W in YHWH. Wav stands for divine protection. The world. If you look in your hand, it may appear to you that you have M's in your hand, the markings that's in our hands. Everybody has this. It may appear that you have M's, and they are M's. And I remember being a kid, people used to say, oh, you have a perfect M, you're going to get married. Well, if that's the case, everybody should be married, right? But no, they are actually W's. And they are upside down. And they are upside down for a reason. Because Wav in Hebrew means divine protection, the world, and your wings. Now, in concordance, you look up wing, it means a form of protection. When somebody take you up under their wing. And as humans and celestial beings walking this earth, we are supposed to extend our hands as wings to show our Wav, which is our divine protection, towards one another. And that's why we have those markings in our hands. Now, the last H is also Hey, spirit and breath. But it's pertaining to the spirit and breath that he blew into the humans and the animals that walk the earth. Now, remember, the humans and the celestial beings are different. They look the same because they was created under one image. But the celestials have a little higher rank than the humans because of their mental state. But a human can elevate themselves to become celestial because that is the divine right of having free will and choice. Now that I explained the YHWH in the meaning of it in Hebrew, I'm going to go backwards with it. YHWH is Yahweh's name. The creation is in his name. Yud, creator creation. Hey, spirit and breath. Wav, divine protection. Hey, spirit and breath. Now, there's a little storyline when you go backwards on his name. It's up to the humans. I'm going backwards. I'm going HWHY. The humans have to get over the world to get closer to the spirits of Yahweh, which is Hey, and to get closer to Yahweh. So I'm going to say that again. I feel like I said it wrong. I'm going to say it again. The humans of the earth have to get past the world, which is the W, to get closer to the celestials in the first Hey, which is the H. And the celestials will bring them closer to Yahweh. Will bring them back to Yahweh. Now, that's the small story behind, the origins of the divine name. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the divine name written down. And I'm going to show you how we, the people on this earth, has the divine name written in our foreheads. Okay. Okay, guys, let me focus this in. All right. So, in Hebrew, right? We write from right to left. instead of left to right. Okay? So, Yahweh name in Hebrew goes something like this. Yud, Hey, Wav, Hey. Okay? Now, this is vertical. I mean, this is horizontal. Now, when I write this vertical, let's see how. Shorten that up a little bit. You. Okay? Hey. Okay. You see what just happened, right? Let's do it a little short. You. Hey. Wow. Hey. What that look like? It's like a person, right? This is the head. This is the heart. Isn't it kind of ironic that the head and the heart sticks out in this? Okay, you got the shoulders, you got the arms, you got the waistline, you got the, and you got the legs. All right, look. This ain't by no coincidence. This ain't by chance. This ain't something that just happened. This is meant to be like this. This is important because in order to understand the divine name, you have to have your head and your heart right. Period. Period. I ain't talking about being Christian or anything like that, because you could be Christian all day and still be screwed up in the head and the heart, because they ain't got no real divinity within them. So, that's why I'm saying this is so important for us to understand who we are. This is a whole person right here. Okay? Now check this out. In Revelation, it said we got our Father's name written in our foreheads. Forehead. When you think of forehead, you think of the top part of your eyebrows. Or you think about, the space above your eyebrows and right before your hairline. But forehead in the dictionary says something different. Forehead in the dictionary says the forefront part of your head. And then if you think about it, forehead, it is the forefront part of the head. It's your whole face. So your forehead is really your whole face. It's the front part of your head. It's your whole face. Okay, so if we got the Creator's name written in our face, you don't see Jesus, you don't see nothing like that. You don't see God, you don't see anything like that. But what you do see, you don't see this either. Let me see. Remember I told you that our Almighty Creator Yahweh put His name all over creation and tarnation in English letters before the English language even existed? Well, I'm finna show you. YHWH is how you spell Yahweh's name all out in English. These three letters right here is on our forehead. You will see this when you look at anybody in their face. Okay? You will see the indentation of where their eyebrows are. Okay? It's not the perfect picture. Okay? So bear with me. And when they smile, you will see the indentation of their nose. Okay? Like I said, this is not the best drawing, okay? So bear with me. And when they smile, you will see the indentation of their mouth. Okay? Bear with me. Okay? All of this is connected. Let me try to do a better one over here. Okay? Let's try to get this right. Okay? Let's just say, still looking crazy. But we're just going to do that. Then we're going to come down here. Okay? And then we're going to come right here. And we're going to do this again, okay? These are the indentations of the human face, forehead. Okay? All you need to do is put a set of eyes here. And just fill in the nose here. You know what I mean? And finish the face here. Where the mouth, when the person smiles, where the mouth indents. The indentation, YHWH in your forehead. Okay? Whole person. You know, hairline up here. Shit kind of look like Donald Trump. But you know what I mean. Yahweh is our creator. So basically, this is why we have to really seek out what's true and what's not, because people will tell us anything, and based off majority of how everybody is acting towards a certain truth, they will make it a truth even though it's not. So, you know, that's why in my videos, I'm not gonna give you all of everything. I'm gonna give you points to where you can go and research this stuff for yourself and understand. And understand your truth and know what's true and what's not, because Satan will deceive you. And in Revelations it said Satan deceived the world. Now, etymology. Etymology is the study of letters and the origin of words over the course of time and how they have changed. Now, as I said before, if you study etymology, you'll be able to know how to read and understand the Bible. And you also have to know that the Bible has a metaphoric and algorithm stance. Now, for those out there who've been out of school for a while, or even if you were in school and it was just kind of hard for you to pick up on what a metaphor was, or allegory, or a simile, and things like that, I had to refresh my memory, so don't feel bad. But a metaphor is basically transferring to one word the sense of another word. It's like a figure of speech in which one thing is like unto another thing. Like a different thing being spoken of as if it were another thing. In other words, I'm going to use this example that Yahweh ben Yahweh used. It's like, I'll take Well, I'll talk to you about a flower as if it is a television. You know what I mean? And he also said, if you know the difference between a flower and a television, and you can understand that I'm talking to you about the flower as if it was a television, you'll be able to understand and decode the Bible. Because this is exactly how the Bible is written. It's written in a certain figure of speech. Now, a simile is a figure of speech in which one thing is like unto another dissimilar thing. In other words, a simile is when you use a comparison like her heart was as big as a whale. You know, something like that. So that's basically how the Bible is written, and as far as you reading it and you might not understand, you might read it and you might understand it a way that it's not intended to be understood. Like an example, the forbidden fruit. The forbidden fruit has been misinterpreted to be an apple. But the forbidden fruit is our genitalia. That's why Yahweh told us to be fruitful and multiply. You get what I mean? There was no apple that was bitten. There was some forbidden sex that was happening. And that's how one knew that they were naked. Anyways, that's what I mean about metaphor and similes and allegories and things like that, and how the Bible's written. If you're just reading it from a Christian standpoint, you're going to think that an apple, something that we eat today that makes us healthy, cursed us. That makes no sense. Or a snake talked. That makes no sense. Because if snakes talk, snakes will be talking today. And the only place I saw a snake talk was in the movie Harry Potter. So let's be real. Now, last but not least, I'm going to get ready to end this video off. Last but not least, I want to talk about, again, Yahweh's name all over nature. Now, if you put a seed in the ground and you watch that seed sprout, the seed is going to sprout like this. Now, if you put any type of seed in the ground, the seed is going to sprout like this. Trees, the leaves are like this. Everything grows out in Y shapes. Butterflies, insects, birds, everything. Like I said, the fish, animals, everything. Every animal, period. You know, if it's not GMO'd or genetically modified and is created by the Creator, it is marked. We are marked with the W's in our hands and the YHWH in our face. And the Bible supports this. Romans 1:19 and 20 actually says, for what can be known about Yahweh, you know, the Christian Bible says God, but wherever there is God, this is how we the Yahwehs are being taught. When we read a Christian Bible or a modern King James version of the Bible, we are being taught that whenever we see God, the word God or Jesus, we replace it with Yahweh, and Yahweh being Yahweh. So, for what can be known about Yahweh, I'm reading the verse now. Romans 1:19, 20. For what can be known about Yahweh is plain to them, because Yahweh has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, mainly his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made, so they are without excuse. I'm going to read that again. Romans 1:19 and 20. 19 says, "For what can be known about Yahweh is plain to them, because Yahweh has shown it to them." 20 says, "For his invisible attributes, mainly his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world, in the things that have been made, so they are without excuse." Yahweh say we should not be with any excuses when we stand face to face with him, to not know who he was on earth, who he is on earth, who he is in general. For us to not know who he is, we should be without excuses. His name is written all over creation, tarnation, trees, animals, plants, your hands, your face. You look in the mirror, you looking right at his name. But like I say, if you're religious and you've been brought up in Christianity and you don't even try to figure out things on your own, even though I don't care who you are, every Christian have questions. I don't care who you are, because everybody have it in the back of their mind. This don't make sense. Something don't click. It's always something that don't click in church. But it be the bold ones that dare to ask questions, and the bold ones be the ones that Yahweh had already chosen. And the bold ones be the ones that find out the truth, and the bold ones be usually the ones that shunned. But that's all I have for today about the divine name. Say the divine name in your prayers. Speak his name. He said, "Try me." He also said, if you deny me in front of your friends, I deny you in front of my Father. So it's really up to you. Shalom, my brothers and sisters. I pray that you all have a wonderful evening. I pray that Yahweh bless all of you guys with knowledge, truth, protection, and guidance, and love, and wisdom. And I'm out.